I will be speaking with you today on the subject of faith. You've heard about justification by faith. Well, I want to give you a justification of faith. I want to defend our right to believe in religious claims for which we do not possess proof. I am sure you are aware that some philosophers, like W.K. Clifford, think it is irresponsible to believe anything which has not been proven, especially anything religious. I disagree. I think religious belief can be responsible and rational, even if we lack convincing evidence for it. Let me give you 2 reasons for my disagreement with Clifford. The first reason is that we believe without proof all the time. It is just part of life, so why make an exception for religion? We believe without proof every time we have to make certain types of decisions and don't have proof which decision is right. We had better get a few terms straight. I am talking about decisions that are live, forced, and momentous. A live decision is one where I have 2 options before me, and both of them appeal to me at least a little. A decision is momentous if it has a huge effect on my life, if I won't be able to escape the consequences of the decision if it turns out I am wrong. I risk something by deciding. A decision is forced if I cannot avoid either option. If I tell you either love me or hate me, the decision is not forced, because you can just be indifferent to me. But if I tell you either love me or don't, you have to do one or the other. It is a complete logical disjunction, so you cannot avoid going with one of the alternatives. Even if you are indifferent to me, you will be choosing not to love me. Now obviously the decision between being, say, Protestant or Catholic, is not forced. I can choose to be in either. Similarly, if I tell you to choose between atheism and Christianity, you can easily avoid the decision by practicing a different religion. But let me tell you something. You will either be religious or not. You do not have the option of avoiding both. You must either have at least one religious belief, or none at all. The decision to be religious or not is forced for all of us. It is also momentous because it affects our life. And it is live for many of us. Many of us could be religious or not. When a decision is live, forced, and momentous, we have a right, perhaps even a duty, to believe without proof. I must act, and so I must choose, and so I must believe that the course of action chosen is right. Now, this is the heart of the dilemma that we all face. We would like to believe the truth and avoid error, but we can't always have it both ways. We can be sure to avoid error if we never believe anything less than completely certain. But then we won't believe any truths that aren't completely certain, and we might as well admit that many truths worth believing aren't that certain. People like Clifford, who recommend not believing anything that hasn't been proven, are terrified of being taken in, of believing something false. But they sacrifice any chance of believing something true that is worth believing, yet uncertain. In other words, the decision whether to be religious is just one of those decisions life forces us to make without perfect proof of what is the best alternative. It's like choosing whether or whom to marry, or what career to take up. We have to decide without perfect proof, and we have the right to decide based at least in part on our own passions, not only on rational evidence. For my part, I am just as afraid of not believing a true religious claim as I am of believing a false one. So I choose to be religious. That is the first reason we have a right to believe. Now my second reason is a little subtle. Some things cannot be confirmed true until we believe them. We can't withhold belief until all the evidence comes in, because some of the evidence comes as a result of our believing. This is especially common with relationships. Say we work together, and you respect me but I do not know it, but I believe that you do, and I begin a friendship with you. Experience will soon confirm that you do respect me, but I am less likely to find that out if I do not believe it. Now maybe some religious beliefs cannot be confirmed true until we believe them, Beliefs about relationships are like that, and some religions say that the highest reality is personal, so we can have a relationship with it. So it is possible that some of our beliefs about God also have to be believed before they can be confirmed true. They can't be tested without being believed. And this is why Clifford's rule is so unappealing to me. I simply cannot withhold my beliefs until all the evidence comes in, because some evidence is the result of believing, but it's even better than that. Some things are not even true until we believe them. Some things become true as a result of our believing them. Take an everyday example, the choice between confidence and despair. If I am about to play a rugby game and I believe that I can do a good job in it, I will be better able to do so as a result. But if I despair, and believe I cannot do well, the belief that I will fail pretty much guarantees that I will fail. Let me explain this in a little more detail. Our beliefs are true when they fit the world. We usually try to believe things because they are true. But sometimes it works the other way. Sometimes things become true as a result of our believing them. The reason is that our minds do not have the function of standing apart from the world and observing. Our minds interact with the world because we interact with the world. We are not spectators on reality, but active players in it. And sometimes our beliefs affect our behavior, which in turn shapes the world to make it fit those beliefs. Now there are limitations to this. I can't make elves exist just by believing they exist, although that would be really fun. Our beliefs can't create reality out of nothing, they can only reshape the reality that is already there. And they can only reshape the regions of reality that are at least partially under our control. Obviously I can't spread out my arms and fly to the moon just by believing I can. But there are regions of reality that I can affect by believing certain things about them, like the example from the rugby game. Now, back to religion. There might be religious beliefs about regions of reality that can be affected by us. For example, the belief that with God's help we can make a better world. I speak for myself, but I think I speak for a lot of other people too when I say that. There is too much evil and too much suffering to fight it, to make a better world, unless we have hope. Religion gives me hope. I believe that with God's help we can make a better world, and without that belief I don't know if I could even try. So the everyday choice of confidence versus despair has religious significance. If we despair and do not believe that we can make a better world with divine help, then we probably won't. But if we hope, and believe that we can make a better world with God's help, maybe we will have the strength to make it happen. Maybe that belief will help to make itself come true in the end. That, my friends, is why we have the right to believe.